Hello, this is Anne from the Canberra Baby Directory. We are continuing with our series of interviews of experts and businesses in ACT that can support you in this very important time in your life. And today I have Kirstie from Gymbaroo, Canberra with me. Hello, Kirstie.
Hi.
How are you? Hey, Kirstie, do you want to give us a bit of a introduction about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm Kirstie. I'm the director, owner and a teacher for Gymbaroo in Canberra in Fairburn.
Ah, that's awesome. Welcome, Kirstie. Kirstie, first of all, would you like to give us a bit of information what Gymbaroo is?
Absolutely. So basically our program is all about getting our little people from babies up to about 6 years of age, getting their bodies moving. It's a program that's based on over 30 years of research that has shown our little people need to move their bodies to help them learn. So our program provides a fun, safe space for them to do that. And it's a bit of a combination of unstructured time on our large climbing equipment, a bit like an obstacle course designed for our younger kids, and a structured mat time. And during that structured mat time, we provide education to our parents and carers about the neurological research behind why we're doing that activities. And we cover off all our essential skills to make sure they're getting those really important early movement experiences.
Oh, that's great. So essentially, what is involved is that parents just enroll with you and then they you would slot them in once a week, or what do parents do? Do they come once a week or do they come more often?
Well, generally the program is once a week, but we do have a few families whose little people need that extra time, so they can come as many times a week as they like. I do families a free trial first, so you can come in and see what we do and see if it is what you're looking for your little person. Once you've enrolled, our program is a 10-week program. And it builds on the skills each week, especially for our older kids. And each class is developmentally appropriate. So we have a non-mobile baby class. Once our babies start sort of rolling around, we move them up to the next level. Then once they start walking, is the next level up. Independent jumping is the next level up. And then we delve into our preschool readiness class and our kindy readiness class. So we look at our little people, not so much by the age, but where they're up to developmentally, to make sure that the appropriate class, so that we're setting them up for success rather than setting them up for failure.
Yeah, so in that regard, it's possibly good to maybe explore a little bit. So if parents have children with special needs or they have babies, let's say, that are born prematurely, what would happen if they wanted to come by? You know, what is the process essentially?
So regardless of if they've got, if they're a preemie baby, if they've got special needs, or if they're meeting their milestones as expected, we always offer a trial to start off with, so we can actually assess where the best class is for that little person. So with our babies, obviously, if they are preemie, well, we won't move them up just because they turn 6 months. We'll look at when ready. One thing we also assess when they come in and do their free trial is whether they're a good fit for that particular class, because class dynamics, like the teacher involved in the class, can make a big difference. So we really strive in that first trial period to ensure that they're in the best class for that little person, and sometimes for the big person too.
Yeah, and what happens out of interest? So if you have a small, let's say you have a 6-week, 8-week-old baby, I can imagine there's a lot of interruptions, and some mums might be worried that, you know, the baby might want to feed or needs a nappy change for that matter.
They've got wonderful timing like that. As a mum of 3, the first thing I do is reassure them that I've actually been there before. So if they're little ones, at the end of the day, they're the boss. So if they're class unsettled in any way whatsoever, we encourage them to settle them how they normally would, whether it be boob or bottle or dummy or stand up rocking and screaming, whatever they do at home. If they do miss the class, then they're entitled to take that lesson at another time as a make-up lesson. And we also encourage the mum to stay though. So if they have fallen asleep, they will still get another makeup lesson, but we like the mum to stay, because it's amazing what you can pick up when you're watching the class and not just being involved with your little ones. That's also the reason why I like to more have our bubbies start around 8 weeks of age rather than, I mean, Gymbaroo is appropriate from the second they're born, but I really like that 6 to 8 week introduction with mum and bub to really bond, and for mum to get to know that bubby's signals. So if we're in the middle of a class and the teacher says, we're going to stretch their arm up really high, and their bubby goes, ugh, we want mum to go, that's my bubby doesn't want to do that, and listen to bubs. So that bonding before you come into us is super duper important.
And do you have a lot of dads coming along as well?
We do. You know, I started as a Saturday teacher, and I days because it was mostly dads. So one thing we do in a lot of our lessons is upside down, which is very, very good for our little people's brains. And so I'd stand up and say, okay, now we're going to do upside down, and all the dads would pick the kids up and go like this. Because dads just have this natural thing built in that they roughhouse their kids, they throw their kids around, and it's what their kids need. So yeah, we have lots of dads come along, and more so even on weekdays now too. We also have nannies come along, we have grandparents come along, we have aunts and uncles, we have even just friends bringing little people along. So we never assume that the big person with the little person is a parent, hence why we use the term big person, little person. Anybody who's bringing them along, and we welcome everybody along.
Yeah, so that sounds like a lot of fun, a lot of things going on. I'm really suspicious. I really want to come along and watch it actually now.
You have to borrow someone else's child and you come to a class.
Yeah, true. We had a chat obviously recently, and I really would like to get you to talk about your vision, because I thought that was something that I felt was particularly special and beautiful about what you told me about essentially. So could you just tell us about your vision for Gymbaroo in Canberra?
Absolutely. So when I first, I mean, I've been involved with Gymbaroo for 11 years now. I started as a mum when my eldest was about 2 months old. Fell in love with the program. It wasn't even so much that the program, it was the extra information provided to parents, and that feeling I got when I walked into that centre, that no matter what happened in the rest of my day, I stopped for 50 minutes, I spent that time with my baby, and I just felt at peace. So when I decided to buy the business from my boss, one of the things I thought about was my name for my company, which is a combination of my girls' first names, and it also means hub in Greek. Because that community that we have out at Gymbaroo in Canberra is the thing that drove me, and still does drive me as the owner. It's something that I like to instill every single day in the centre, and all my staff are totally on board with it as well. So we try and provide a nice safe space. There's no judgment. There's a waiting room where I encourage our parents to get together and talk, and our children to play together. I use that waiting room space also for other experts in their field of the area to come in and provide free workshops to our parents, just to let them know what other services are there without having to step outside an unfamiliar zone, so they can come in off in our waiting room and see what else is available to them. And just every day that I'm there, I like to make sure that it's known that I'm always up for a chat. I mean, I definitely don't get any administration done when I'm there because I'm too busy to one. But I want everybody else to feel what I feel. I want them to walk in, and this is the place of calm amidst their crazy day. And no matter what else is happening, they get up, they get dressed, and they come to Gymbaroo, and it's the best part of their day. And the feedback that I've got from my parents is that's exactly what it has been. So, I mean, I quite often head there on my days off if I'm having a bad day. I've been through some rough patches in my life, and I get up, get dressed, and I go out to Gymbaroo. So that community feeling is something that I'm very, very, very passionate about. So the program is amazing, and what I want to do is I want to bring in more aspects of that community into that building along with that Gymbaroo. So, you know, in the future, I'd love to do my Gymbaroo consultancy, which means I could chat to mums about little people who haven't inhibited primitive reflexes yet. So I've also got a friend, lots of friends actually, that deal with lots of different aspects of parenting. So I'd love to have a space where big people could bring their little people in, whether it could be a paediatric osteopath. It might be something to do with child psychology, or even just how to deal with being a parent and the emotional sides of that. So going forwards, I would love a big space where it is all about that community. It's those are bonuses, I suppose, to add on to the Gymbaroo program. So big dreams, but I'm getting there slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds really good. And I think the main thing is, so it sounds as if you really try to create an extra community resource, really, and particularly Canberra. We know that a lot of families, they might not have grown up here. We have a transient population. Now with COVID, it's even worse. A lot of family members from overseas, you know, when, for example, if culturally it would be the norm that a family member would attend and support a family in the early days, that's not happening at the moment with COVID. So I can see that that's yet another really good resource for women or young families to tap into, to at least have a bit of a support network. Do you find that families who have gone through your program, that a lot of friendships have evolved out of that over the years?
Yes, so much. I have to admit, if I get a tap on my back, if I'm out in the shops, that it's someone who used to attend, I absolutely love it. To our old families and asking how their little people are and their little person's up to here. Oh, not so little people. I love when families come back and see me just to say hi. There's just something special about those families who have come through. And I get very emotional, I get a bit teary, because everybody who comes to Gymbaroo is there for the same reason. They just want the best thing for their kids. So you're with like-minded parents and carers. I myself have made some wonderful friends out of Gymbaroo who were parents bringing their kids through at the same time I was bringing my kids through. And I think as well, for us teachers, we love teaching the kids, but we also love the parents who bring them. One of the reasons why I opened up as soon as I could for in this new lifting of restrictions was for the parents. I mean, obviously we need to get our little people back out and moving because they've been at home in front of screens. But us parents and carers, we've been at home with these little people trying to deal with these massive changes in our lives without being able to see other people and communicate and share our experiences. And I think naturally, as definitely as a female, I love to talk about what I've gone through to help me get through it. So last week, opening back up in the centre, even though it was smaller classes and not our normal procedures, I suppose, it was just wonderful. Every single little person and big person just walked in with the biggest smile, so happy to have purpose, to be able to socialise with other people whilst their little people did something that was important for them. It was just amazing. I must admit, I spent most of last week tearing up watching all the classes, but it just made me, I suppose it reinforced the fact that that community feeling, that help to raise, you know, they say it takes a village, but we don't live in those villages anymore. So that village atmosphere there, even if it's only once a week, just to come along and do something that's so worthwhile for your little person, but also so fulfilling for yourself as the parent, I think that's super important. And especially in Canberra, when it's such a transient place. I don't have family here. My partner doesn't have family here. So Gymbaroo Canberra is my family. And I quite often refer to it as my fourth baby. So.
Well, you have a lot of fourth babies then.
Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have obviously also the option of, let's say, birthday celebrations at Gymbaroo. Yeah. Is that only open for parents and children who have actually, or you should say, big people and little people who have gone through the program?
I love your use of our lingo. Very. Those birthday parties are open to everyone, and they are literally just a bit of a bonus on the side because we've got a wonderful big building out Fairburn. So we do the birthday parties on the weekends, and hopefully they'll be starting up again very soon once restrictions have eased. The other thing we do, because there's a lot of families who work full time, and our Saturday classes are very popular and do get booked out, we do find that a lot of our little people love our holiday play sessions. So during the holidays, we basically offer free play and a nice small environment. So instead of taking your little one to a big play centre where there is older kids around, that you can bring them to our Gymbaroo, have a nice quick play on our smaller sized equipment, and it's also limited numbers as well. So we try and offer as much as we can outside of our main program, because not everybody can access our main program.
Do you find that, let's say, pediatric physios also refer to you? Do you get that? Or occupational health providers, do they sometimes refer kids onto you?
Yes, we get referrals from dentists, believe it or not, pediatric osteopaths, occupational therapists, lots and lots of different professionals, even GPs and just, I suppose, general practitioners in regards to children's health. And we also refer back onto them as well. All my Gymbaroo team are experts in our Gymbaroo program. We're certainly not experts in picking up a specific developmental delay or specific retained reflex, but we're aware of things that may not be quite right. So the best part about, I suppose, seeing our kids on a weekly basis is that we can say, hey, we think there might be a little something here. It may be low muscle tone or something simple as that. So we take those referrals, and we also refer those people on to other people who are a little bit more expertise in that field. And I must admit, the best part about referring these little ones on is when the parents come back, months later and go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you picked it up. Our life is completely different now. So that's pretty cool. And I love that we do that. I love that my team are so invested in those little people that they want to do everything they can to help them. Same with, for example, if we've got a bubby that's very unsettled, or and even an older child that's taken a bit longer to settle in, we'll try and get them into the centre a bit more often, a few times a week, to really help that settling in process. So we don't look at our class as a bunch of enrolments. We look at our little people individually and try and give them what they need as much as possible.
That sounds all very good. So I hope that, our audience can find a lot of good hints, and you possibly get some people inquiring from this, but no, that sounds really good. So I really thank you for the chat today, Kirstie. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You're obviously very passionate and caring.
I could talk about it all day. I'm such a believer not only in what the program can do for our little people, how it can be amazing for us big people, but also what I want to do. I mean, Gymbaroo Canberra, like I said, is my fourth baby. It means so much to me. And when I hear back how much it means to other people as well, I know that I'm on the right track with my vision. So I look forward to making it bigger and better and even more wholesome as a community as well.
So thank you so much, Kirstie. That's awesome. Thank you for the chat today.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.